Wow. Just let that sink in for a second. Those 3 words, they can completely turn a life upside down, right? And the crazy thing is, this isn't some hypothetical scenario. This is the new reality for millions of people out there. For generations, we've all been handed this playbook for success. It was pretty simple: get an education, find a stable job, work your tail off, and you're set for life. But what happens when that playbook just doesn't work anymore, when it's totally obsolete? That's exactly what we're diving into today. So let's talk about the elimination of a career by a single email. And to do that, I want you to meet Shawn Sowinski. He's 45, a really dedicated IT manager, a husband, a dad to 2 kids. I mean, this is a guy who did everything right. He followed all the rules. And then, bam, one Monday morning, a single email just blows his whole world apart. 18 years. Think about that. That's almost 2 decades of loyalty, of showing up early, staying late, solving every problem thrown at him, keeping a whole hospital's tech system running smoothly. And all that commitment, just gone in a blink. And listen to the words they used. Not laid off, not downsized, eliminated. The language here is so important. This is the new cold reality. See, Shawn wasn't just let go. His position was eliminated, deemed unnecessary. Why? Because an AI system could do it faster and cheaper. It's the ultimate way to dehumanize someone's work. So the old playbook is broken. We're looking at a grandfather's promise versus a grandson's reality. And you have to understand, Shawn's story, it isn't some rare one-off thing. It's a huge warning sign. It's a symptom of this massive shift that's happening. And to really get what's going on, we have to look at that old playbook, the one we were all taught, and figure out exactly why it's falling apart. Okay, this is Shawn's dad, Jack. He's 70, he's retired, and he lived his whole life by a pretty simple but powerful idea. I spent my whole life believing that if you worked hard, you'd be okay. And for his generation, that was true. Loyalty and hard work, they were like a guarantee of stability. You put in your time, the company takes care of you. Simple as that. And for Jack, it absolutely worked. But now meet Mac. He's Shawn's son, he's 18, just getting out of high school, and he says, I don't think the plan is learn a skill, get a job, retire. Not anymore. See, in just one generation, that promise has completely shattered. Mac is looking at his dad's situation, he's looking at the world, and he sees it clear as day. The old rules just don't work. That playbook is broken, and he knows it. And this whole thing, it leads to a crisis of identity. Because it's not just about the money, is it? It's about when you are what you do. For so many of us, our job isn't just a thing we do to get a paycheck, it's who we are. And when that gets ripped away, it causes this deep personal crisis. And that's the question that's just eating Shawn alive. Who am I anymore? For 18 years, he wasn't just Shawn. He was Shawn, the IT manager. That was his identity. It's how he contributed, it was his pride. And now, that title's just gone. And he's left thinking, what's left? Who am I really without the job that defined me for so long? And it's not just him. His wife, Heather, is asking her own version of this question, am I obsolete? I mean, after 15 years as a stay-at-home mom, she's looking to get back out there, and the entire world has changed. She's wondering, do I have anything to offer anymore? Are my skills, my experience, are they just totally irrelevant now in a world that's run by algorithms? Okay, so we've got a pretty big problem on our hands, right? A real crisis. But this is where the story takes a turn. This is where we start talking about the human advantage, what AI can't do. And believe it or not, the answer doesn't come from some fancy tech conference or a stuffy academic paper. Nope, it comes from a bike shop. Yeah, a bike shop. Get this. The owner, this guy Ray, he's this super wise 60-something-year-old guy. He just nails it. He says, AI is really good at optimization, but AI is terrible at meaning. And that's it, right there. He boils this whole complicated mess down to that one simple, powerful idea. AI is about efficiency. It's a tool. It is not a source of purpose. And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, the human advantage. So what is it? It's the ability to care, to connect, to create meaning, and to exercise judgment. These are the skills that, well, they just can't be optimized by a machine. The key isn't to try and work harder than the machines. It's about learning to work differently. Here, let's break it down. Look at AI's strengths versus human strengths. AI is incredible at optimization, prediction, raw speed, processing tons of data. But humans, our strengths are things like meaning, connection, judgment, empathy. See, we're good at creating meaning, building trust, and making calls when things aren't black and white. So the future, it's not AI versus humans, it's AI and humans, with each of us playing to our unique strengths.
So that all sounds great, but how do you actually do it? How do you put this human advantage into practice? Well, this is where we get into writing a new playbook. It's about moving from just seeking jobs to actually solving problems. And the Sowinski family's journey is the perfect roadmap. They basically just stop playing by the old broken rules and start writing a brand new playbook for themselves.
And here are the principles of that new playbook. First, stop looking for a job. I know it sounds crazy. Second, start looking for problems you can solve. Third, focus on the stuff that can't be automated. And fourth, build a community of purpose. Do you see the huge mindset shift here? It's not about finding a box to fit into on some company's org chart anymore. It's about finding a real need out there and using your unique human skills to fill it.
And here's how the new playbook looks in action for their family. Look at Heather. Her career gap made her feel invisible, right? She doesn't go back to her old job. Instead, she becomes a human bridge for AI risk assessment. She helps small businesses understand what the AI is telling them. And Shawn, his job was eliminated by AI, so he pivots. He becomes a consultant, helping other businesses use the exact same tools that replaced him. Even their dad, Jack, who felt useless in retirement, starts a community to help other people find a new purpose. It's amazing.
And this quote, this is from Heather's very first client. It says everything. You saw me, you listened, you cared. That's worth more than the loan. Wow. The client wasn't just paying for data analysis. She was paying for empathy, for being seen and heard, for being understood. That is the human advantage in action, and it has real, tangible, economic value.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? The future isn't about just finding another job in a system that's already broken. The whole game is changing. If you keep trying to find your old spot in this new world, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment.
No, it's about fundamentally redefining our relationship with work. It's about a whole new definition. It's about shifting from being just another cog in the machine to being a uniquely human problem solver. It's about going from just seeking a job to actually creating a purpose. That is the new playbook. And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. The old playbook is obsolete. So what will you write in yours? The old way of doing things is over. This new way is being written as we speak by people just like the Sowinskis and millions of others all over the world. So the real question isn't what's going to happen, it's what are you going to write in your new playbook?